Hi everybody. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but it's a little too long for me to cover in a shorts video. So we're going to go over some tips when you're looking at reports to help better understand what is happening. But we have a Discord up now and we're working on our way up to 250 subscribers. I'm going to be doing a giveaway on the Discord when we hit that goal. So hit that subscribe button and go to the link in the description below to join our Discord. But without further ado, let's get started. First, we're going to go over a quick offhand way to count up the actual number of troops involved in a rally or garrison. When you look at a report, the total of troops is just at the start of the fight. But if you add up the remaining troops, the slightly wounded, the severely wounded, and the deads, you'll get the total number of troops that actually participated in the rally. This is useful when you're trying to figure out which is more heavily reinforced in a rally. So even though a trade may look like a losing trade, if you only had 2 million troops invested versus the enemy investing 4, it was more about their reinforcement. In this case, if you add these all up, it comes out to about 3.55 million for the Henry side of the rally versus 3.8 for the Flavius Scipio. So even though the trade looked pretty even, and maybe even a little bit of a loss for the rally team because of the severely wounded, which we'll get to in a little bit, in reality, they had more troops fed into it. So it really was a lot more even than you would think it was versus what it looks like at a glance. Second, when you're looking at a rally and you're doing the same thing, you're adding up all the numbers, the slightly wounded, the severely wounded, the deads. When you look at this, you'll see that it doesn't add up to the starting troop count. So this means one of two things. Either one, troops were quickly fed out of the rally or kicked out of the rally, which is highly unlikely in this large an amount. If the discrepancy were about 1 march's worth, that was probably what happened. But the reality is, in this case, which the truth is, the rally was swarmed. So even though we only have the defense report, we can know it's swarmed because of this discrepancy here. And because of the way it works, we can't see the swarming reports unless you are the rally or the thing that was swarmed. So even though we don't have that information, we know that they were swarmed very significantly based on the amount that actually interacted with the garrison. Because in reality, only about 740,000 of the 2 million troops had garrison interactions. So that's something interesting to consider. Lastly, when you're looking at deads in a garrison, I talked about this in a shorts video, but I want to go over it in a little more detail. Your severely wounded count towards your power loss. So in this report, one, you can observe, just like we mentioned earlier, that these numbers don't add up to 2 million, so either 2 or 3 marches left the rally, or the rally was slightly swarmed. But you'll notice that the power looks even though they had significantly more deads. That's because the severely wounded were added up. If you ever want to figure out how much was actually taken in deads power loss, you could do a rough proportion by taking the total number of deads over the total number of deads plus the severely wounded. This gives you a ratio of power loss, deads to actual power loss. And then if you multiply that by your power loss, it'll actually give you roughly how much power in deads you lost. So in this case, when you do that, it's 77,063 over about 102,000 and some change. And when you multiply that by the 629,000 power lost, it comes out to about 464,000 power. So deads to deads, it's almost 1.5 to 1 rally versus garrison. And it's only about 46,000 T5. So this is where these reports can very easily deceive you. So that's something else to consider. But with that, we conclude our discussion on how to actually make observations from reports. I know it's a much shorter video, but it was certainly too long for me to cover in 60 seconds to my satisfaction, so I wanted to go in a little more detail. If you like this video, hitting the like button is the best way to let me know so I know to make more content like this. If you want to see a specific subject covered in a manual like this, let me know in the comments, because I very well could make that video based on a comment. But as always, good luck, fight well, and I will see you on the battlefield.